The wheels never seem to stop turning for Microsoft or Microsoft's fans. It always jumps to what's next? What's the next big acquisition? What's the next big game that we can get? What's the next big exclusive that we can get? Now, it's an interesting thing because so far Microsoft has bought a lot of studios, but really haven't unlocked a lot of exclusive content from them studios. Now, the funny thing is, this is something that I brought up previously, and a lot of people didn't agree with me years ago when I said it would take this long to do, but they have to honor previous agreements and things like that. So, with that being said, Xbox fans are now a little bit on the offensive and are actually asking Microsoft to buy a studio to prevent a game from being PlayStation exclusive. It's something that I think is a little bit of a precursor as to what to expect, because Sony has a habit of going out there and locking down these games, and Microsoft fans, maybe rightfully so, are a little bit tired of it. But again, it's the name of the game. Like, how can you be pro Microsoft buying studios and making games exclusive and not pro Sony going out and making deals to make games exclusive? Like, it doesn't really make sense to me. It's just part of the business, it's part of the game. It always makes sense to own multiple platforms. That's the way you're going to get all the content and make sure that you're not locked out from anything. So but I do want to get into this video. I feel like it's going to be a very good one. We're kicking off the week in very much grand style, so I want to say thank you. Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Crab Gamer, and of course this is Crab Gamer Reviews, your home for gaming news, opinions, reviews, and much more. You'll probably notice some changes around here, but that shouldn't stop you from giving us a like, and possibly even consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. Thank you so much for choosing to spend some of your free time with me today. It really does mean a lot. I know how busy you guys are, honestly, so busy, and you guys work hard, and you're busy with gaming, and you're busy with your lives and things like that. It really does make a lot of sense to watch a little bit of YouTube in your downtime. So I'm very appreciative that you guys come out and watch my stuff. It means the world to me, and I just want to say thank you guys very much. So with that being said, I wanted to get into this because we had some tremendous news. Capcom announced the next generation Street Fighter sequel, Street Fighter 6. The Resident Evil engine suggests by Capcom's most detailed fighting game characters yet. After years of speculation, rumors, and teases, Capcom confirmed the inevitable. A new generation of Street Fighter is coming. The Japanese studio concluded a week-long countdown with a Monday morning unveil of Street Fighter 6. The 30-second teaser video focuses squarely on two lead characters, the classic Dragon Punch and Ryu, and the series' newest character, Luke, introduced as DLC in Street Fighter 5. After the camera angle kind of lingers over shifting fingers, wiggling toes, and bouncing muscles, it zooms out to show that the rivals stare each other down and rev up attacks, each rival accentuated by a brief paint splash effect. Now, while the trailer clearly doesn't include final gameplay or really any in-game combat, the brief footage zooms in on elements like fingernails, hair, and clothing, as if to suggest that we're going to be seeing the game's planned level of real-time detail as opposed to pre-rendered cinema sequence. Capcom has yet to confirm what 3D engine game this will run on, but from first glance the trailer's hair animations and reflective skin resemble characters in the Resident Evil games like Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil Village. The trailer concludes with a brand new Street Fighter 6 logo, which sees the letters S and F surrounded by an MMA-style hexagon. Could this mean that the game will emulate the grappling heavy mechanics of popular productions like UFC, or did Capcom simply pick a six-sided shape in honor of the game's number? We never know. Well, we'll know soon enough, actually. Either way, Capcom ends the trailer by suggesting fans won't see anything new on Street Fighter 6 until quote-unquote this summer, which probably means the game's development period is still quite early, and Capcom wasn't ready to announce target platforms despite the two characters looking far more detailed and realistic in any other Capcom fighting game. So again, the fact that they're saying we're going to see a full true reveal of this game this summer, a lot of people are kind of taking that as speculation that they're going to showcase this at a Sony event, because maybe Sony went out and locked it down. If you guys remember, this game was the last game was exclusive to PlayStation 4 as a console exclusive, and of course I think it was on PC as well. But Phil Spencer was very quick to kind of say, oh well, we'll make it up to fans and things like that. But A lot of people kind of wonder what's going on with this and is it going to be exclusive? And it's kind of prompted a lot of Xbox fans to go out there and ask Microsoft to pick up Capcom in order to make the game exclusive. Obviously, they've officially announced it. The developer announced the entry in the long-running series with a very nice trailer. It actually looks pretty cool. And according to them, more news is coming in the summer between June and September. So we imagine that Capcom will give us the first look of the game and some juicy details at a conference during the Summer Game Fest. So that's something that's, we can kind of look forward to. Whether or not it's going to come to Xbox, the Street Fighter 6 teaser trailer doesn't give away too much apart from revealing Luke and Ryu. Like I said earlier, whether the characters will look like they do in the trailer remains to be seen. But, with imagine that Street Fighter 6 will land on PS5 and PC, meaning that the character models and detailed as those in the trailer isn't out of realms of possibilities. Now, whether Street Fighter will land on Xbox Series X and S, however, is somewhat up in the air. Street Fighter V was only available on PS4 and PC due to an exclusivity deal between Sony and Capcom. But the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection was available for Xbox One, and Capcom hasn't confirmed the platforms for Street Fighter 6 yet, but obviously, a lot of people are hoping that Xbox players aren't left out again. While we expect to find out more about Street Fighter 6 perhaps at Capcom's annual showcase, it's possible that the developer may hold out and reveal a host of details on or around August 12th, which would mark Street Fighter Series' 35th anniversary. It's unlikely Street Fighter 6 will release in 2022, but with Capcom ready to share more details, we wouldn't rule out a 2023 release, though that's purely speculative at this point, as there's been no confirmation on how far into the development cycle the new Street Fighter is. So it's very interesting. Like I said, a lot of people are very much talking about this as something that they hope that they can, play on Xbox and things like that. I think it's really going to be something that a lot of people are going to get excited about. Listen, I think the fighting game genre is something that we as fans are kind of missing out on quite a bit lately. And, again, if this were to skip Xbox, it could be, pretty detrimental. I understand it. Like, listen, even though I was quote unquote an Xbot when Street Fighter 5 came out on PlayStation, and obviously Xbox had their own games and stuff like that, including Killer Instinct, which I thought was just phenomenal. Street Fighter 5 played extremely well on PlayStation, so there is always that bit of information where you're like, oh, okay, well the game actually played extremely well on PlayStation. It's something that I think it lacked content and it was a little rough around the edges, but the gameplay was there and it actually played extremely well, and it's a very well put together game, especially now years later. But hopefully we get like a complete game right then and there. And I would love for Microsoft to actually go out there and start working and have a new Killer Instinct for everybody, because I feel like Killer Instinct is that game that can really kind of bridge that gap. It's really just a fun game. In my opinion, it's much more fun than a lot of these other fighting games. And I would love to see how things kind of come about from the future from this. But yeah, very interesting to see people, listen, even if Microsoft were to buy Capcom, like right now, if there was some kind of exclusivity deal with Sony, that deal would have to be honored. So I don't really understand exactly what would happen, what would be going on with that. Like, people are like, oh, buy him so we can get it. Like, it wouldn't end up being the way that people actually thought it would be. So anyway, with that being said, I will link this article and you guys can check it out. Let me know. Thank you so much. Rack 'em up, fack 'em up, crap gamer 'em up, crap gamer out.